there. My name is Jamie Devine. Welcome to I Am Divinity.
You know, here at I Am Divinity, what we do is we help you unlock your inner power.
So that's what we're doing.
When I come here to the call, you have good breakout and mentally in my childhood.
That's the power. Imagine how healthy our communities will be. Like, they're so pure and so powerful.
Whispers of the morning stars, love expanded, infinite, come to earth, a hero's journey, finding what has always been, finding what has always been. Finding what has always been. Feel me now, I am the avatar. No ego here remains.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Don Smith, that's Don with 2 N's, and I'm here to share with you what I've developed over 44 years that I call I Am Divinity. I say that I Am Divinity because I'm divine and so are you. No matter what you've done and what you haven't done, you are divine, you always were and you always will be. And it gets all covered up. And so all of those trips to the personal developments and all of those things, and they don't hold, and did you ever question yourself instead of just going back and getting the next one and the next one and the next one and none of them hold? Well, there's a reason for that. A very big reason is because you're working at a belief level of who you think you are. That's what beliefs are, both negative and positive. They're who we think we are. So going from a negative belief to a positive belief is not the answer whatsoever. It's about the knowing of who we truly are. There's knowing. It isn't a belief. And so all of these ideas of doing this and all of those trips to the wherevers, it's like dealing with a piece of something. But this is not a piece of anything. This is the total knowing of who you are. And what I've developed over this 44 years is a process that's instant and it's permanent. Now, the permanent comes in by you doing something for holding it. But I'm telling you, there's people have this for years and it's instant. And how do I say that with such boldness? Well, put it in the category of a phobia. 90% of the population has a phobia of something. Bugs, snakes, rats, heights, water, whatever. And my question to you is, how long did it take for you to create that phobia? Yes, you're right. 1 instant. And yet everybody questions me about that. And yet that's all it took. 1 instant. So now, what I did was, I reverse engineered near-death experiences and phobias to find out how they worked, and I reverse engineered it. So if you can create a phobia in a second, and most times it's before the age of reason, which is 4, 5, 6. Think about that. At that young of an age, that in 1 second you created a lifetime phobia. Well, it's a lifetime phobia because you're holding on to it for protection. That's how the ego works. It's going to get you to hold on to something that's harmful for you so it can keep you aware in case it happens again. That's how toxic your ego is. And it's not your ego, it's the ego. Sorry, my mistake. Because you are much more than an ego. And so what it's about is if you create it in a second, why would it take any longer than a second to reverse it if you knew how you did it? That's what I do. That's one of the pieces. And then the other is the permanentness of it all. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. What color are your eyes? What color are those eyes of yours? Now you tell me how long you had that color. Yeah, your whole life. That's permanent. Would you agree? But look at the permanentness of a phobia. You had it from age 4 to 84. That's 80 years. You'd think that was permanent. But it was created in a second, and you can reverse it in a second. So it's not. That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're talking about. Something that's instant, something that's permanent, and it's about who you truly are. Your divinity, you're divine. Don't ever forget it. Always remember it. And all of these other things are happening because you have an attachment to the personal development system of beliefs and changing a belief from a negative to a positive. It's not going to hold. It will not hold. Yes, there will be improvements. Congratulations on doing that. That's searching. I'm talking about a shift from this to a shift from this. Who we're not to who we are. And then doing a simple exercise. Takes 5 minutes 3 times a day to hold it. And there you have it. That's it. That's who you are. That's why it's like the color of your eyes. The color of your eyes has been that way all this time, and you still have that color. Well, it's the same. Who you truly are is permanent. Who your beliefs are not, because it's not true. No matter how much you believe, the negative or the positive about those beliefs, they're false. And so, I'm here to share with you to go on a journey under 2 hours. Now I'm talking about, like I've worked with 15 different pro athletes or Olympians, okay? That's just in sports. And then mega billionaires, millionaires, and health, cancer. You know, one guy, yeah, I met him in the garbage room in Vancouver. I opened up the door and there he is. And he's so gray and he's humped over and he's like, you think he was going to die any second. I said, holy shit, man, you don't look too good. What's going on? He said, oh, I got prostate cancer. I've had it for 16 months. I've had 32 radiation treatments. And I don't know how much time I have. I said, don't listen to that bullshit. Can I ask you a few questions? Within that 15 minutes, I had asked him all these questions. And all I knew about him was his name was Al. 3 weeks later, I get a call from him. This same guy. He said, hi, Don, this is Al Valjanic. I met you in the garbage room 3 weeks ago. Yeah? Well, I don't have any cancer. Now, I could fill this room with those stories. Fill this room with those stories. And you can access this magnificent, powerful, divine energy called I Am Divinity. And what's natural about it, it matches who you truly are. That's the key. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting that you will know who you are and it will override and supersede who you think you are? Now, if you're tied up with that persona that you've developed, in a second, I might add, and kept it all this time, like I just worked with a guy that when he was 9, his mom died, and he decided to harden his heart. And he hardened his heart for the next 40 years. And that's what all his issues were about. We went back, cleaned that up, boom, it's gone. All the symptoms were all gone. That's how easy it is, and that's how simple this is. So if you want to continue with your hard work and all of those kind of things, and going back and paying for this again, that again, and this again, and the counseling and the therapy and coaching and all of that, go ahead, by all means. But if you want to be free to be you, free to be who you truly are. And those eyes, every time you look in the mirror, it will remind you how magnificent you are. And that's how this process is about, whether it's in an individual or whether it's in group. And I welcome you to join us in this journey of raising humanity's consciousness from its existing 210 to 700. That's right, you heard it right. 210 to 700. So it's an awesome journey. We're looking for 100 that are willing to go to 700 to raise humanity's consciousness. So I welcome you, and I'll see you on our journey.
What's this? Oh, Don.
That guy looks familiar.
Oh, wait. Yeah, he's muted.
Unmute yourself there, bud.
Is this on?
No. We're also off audio.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Awesome. Welcome, boys. We made it.
Yeah.
You can hear me okay?
You.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the view, boys. $1 million view. Multi-million dollar view. I should say. Sorry.
Trillion.
Yeah, $1 million view. Well, I'm glad we're able to get this connected. So I can be part of that here while I'm here. Anytime I'm here. So anyway.
Awesome. Well, you're here tomorrow, right, for the Stephen Greer?
Yeah. What time's that? What's the first one?
What time is the first one? 8 a.m.
I think 9 to 11.
8. Oh, 9. Yeah, 9 a.m.
Not 9 a.m.
Yep.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah. Very good. Can't miss that.
Nope.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a little cleanup from yesterday. Let's do a little cleanup there, boys.
Yeah.
What's the cleanup?
Well, it's like the scaring the shit out of everybody, and that's what the cleanup is.
Well, there's nothing to do there, bud.
I mean,
Well,
the ETs didn't scare him, so
that
the ETs didn't scare him.
yeah. But anyway, we certainly have to. Pretty hard to get them to start at 1,000. That's for sure.
Or 50.
Well, what I was thinking, how many was it, Jamie, and how long did it take for? Was it 700 for the money program in a month or something?
Well, 3,000 joined, but yeah, the largest call we had was 700 for when it was just about money. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And how long did that take?
Between a month or two. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
we've been doing it. We've been doing this specific call for 2 months.
Yeah, every day. And the last one was like once a week, twice a week.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
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 So,
Well, I mean, we could go back to just talking about money. I'll probably leave the call. You can get Josh on or something.
yeah, we're going to have somebody on talking about money.
Yes, yes.
Well, it is unfortunate, the value system that is the norm, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And, when it's well, both of you guys and me as well, you know, like doing the other programs first. Doing the other programs first before this, you know.
Yeah. The cart before
And-
before the horse.
Yeah, cart before the horse. For those of us that were around farms, cart before the horse. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't work very well. I tried that. Yeah.
Many times.
Yeah, it is pretty hard to get the cart before the horse. It really is. Yeah. Big old Harry. Yeah.
Lots
So-
of carts, very few horses.
Yeah. But as I was listening to some of the comments, I was thinking about the difficulty I had, of getting to where I'm at. You know, like, you know, ready to blow my head off to quit drinking. That it was the final thing for me to quit drinking, and the quitting smoking, the quitting meat and going vegan, and like those didn't all happen in one day. You know, it was like 5 years between quitting smoking and in 79, 74, and then 79 quitting drinking. So 5 years between quitting smoking and quitting drinking. You know, those kind of things. So,
Well, we could always go sell the 40-year program.
yeah, we could
Probably a
do
lot
that.
If
What's
anyone wants
that?
the 40.
Probably a little bit more profitable too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could-
that's the
That one.
That is the crazy, crazy thing. That is the crazy thing, the most valuable thing on the planet, and we can't even sell it.
We've been giving it away for free. Yeah,
Hey,
it's still.
guess what? I'm pretty clear. I know that answer. How long were we doing it? Was it 2 years in Mexico, Jamie, or a year
At
and a half?
least a year and a half. I think it was 15, 16 months. Yeah.
Yeah, and we
Maybe we
tried
just
everything.
bump it to 50 to 100,000, and then what? Maybe we just bump it up like, like 20, 30x. You know what I
Well,
mean?
you know what? I have done that, and that works because it attracts the one that's at that level. You know that
Yeah.
that
They already found out the
I
finance didn't do it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And they're in severe pain to be willing to pay 100 grand or more to get it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had two at 1 million uh that each, and a couple of more in the line, and it was like, but and that's already saving people like Jim, 650 million, and another guy making 250 million, another guy making 250 million. That's three guys, and two of them are in one meeting.
And they still
So it's
complain
like,
about the 100 grand it costs, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the head of human resources. She never stopped every time she saw me, complaining about the money, how much it costs, and zero attention on the dramatic shifts that were happening and the money that was either saved or made. It was either saved or made, and it was continuous. Yeah.
Not to
Oh,
mention you can't
guys,
put
like,
a freedom.
I'm sorry.
But not to mention you just can't put a price on this freedom.
I know, I know. The one guy that stood out for me was Tim and he was the guy with the 5 addictions in the middle of a messy divorce, and he hadn't flown his private jet for 6 months, and hadn't been to any other meeting other than his key guys in a year. And Jim told him about me, and he said it was 100 grand. He said, I don't care if it's 100 million grand. I need this. I need this cleaned up. And he came. So what I'm saying is, he was the only one that I recall. Him and Jim were the only two that was like, I don't give an F about the money. Like, if this guy can do what he says he can do, I'm in. And that's the one that we really need, actually. That's the one they're in enough pain. They're in pain. And all the other things, the arguments and the disagreements and whatever's, was just like Rama here the other day. She was going on and on about it. Was Jamie said this and Nina said that. I said, all bullshit, doesn't mean a thing. Those kind of things. It was like, and just kept at it. Yeah, no, just bullshit. Just resisting. That's all that is. It's all just resistance. And let me know when you're ready. And anyway, so it got down to the answer was yes. And three of them did it yesterday morning. And already this, what I got a kick out of was in Rockma's case, when we were done, and I got her to look at the questionnaire and all the answers. And I said, what do you think of this, Rockma? Her answer was complete nonsense. Her own language, her own words, her own stories. Complete nonsense. How crazy is that?
And she wrote it like an hour or two before.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Actually, I waited for them to finish the questionnaire to start the process. So it was like minutes. And 2 hours later, it was less than 2 hours, and that is breaking it up due to the language barrier. Sometimes we had to slow things down to get the true meaning or whatever. And so, yeah, we'll say 2 hours. And the same words were complete nonsense. How crazy is that? Amazing.
Super amazing.
And then
yeah.
seeing the three of them, the rest of yesterday and today already, and just completely different. Big grins on their faces, smiles, full of life, lively. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's like, this should be like Christmas. When I used to, you know, when Shelley and Trevor used to come running in, we had a water bed at that time. And the two of them come running in at 5 in the morning, just find out what they want. That's what we need. That's what we need. So I'm full of absolute enthusiasm and excitement to get into this and do it. Have that transformation like the three of them yesterday. My God, their smiles, I didn't know if they could get outside the back out the door. Their smiles were so big. Yeah.
Tough to have that enthusiasm
Huh?
at the lower. Tough to have that enthusiasm at the lower levels.
Oh, well, that's it, Jamie. And we know about that. So we just have to find ways to, I don't know. We've definitely not stayed in the norm. We've just constantly tried. You know as well as I do how much we've tried to change this or change that or do this or make it this and whatever. And it's like, it's tough sledding.
We've gotten pretty creative. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. And at the same time, we still have to let people make their own decisions. And you know, it's tough watching it, really. Well, it took Rockma 6 weeks. 6 weeks to make the decision, and the only reason she said yes is because I was literally walking down the mountain. She knew where I was going, and that's what it took. Yeah. So,
Well, arguably, it took about a year since you've been with her.
yeah, but that's true. Yes, I'm referring to the final yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was referring to there. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is how creative the ego is at creating the blocks to stop people from being in their light. And then it doesn't let up after of trying to find ways to get them out of their light. You know, so, but getting that. Go ahead.
It's using our own creativity. So it's how creative we are, and the ego is just using that creativity against us.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it's you know, it is kind of difficult, that's for sure. Using so much energy, where Tim Nye was he called, I was talking to Jim. I got all this stuff. Can you deal with it? Yeah. Okay. When can we do it? And I'm in. Yeah, I already sent the money. That's what we're looking for. That's the thing. Like, it's so difficult to get people. It takes 10 times more energy to get them in the door than it is for the actual process.
And then keep them in.
Yeah. And once again, what's our buddy's name? Was it Mark? He had his daughter was suicidal, and they were in the middle of getting a divorce, all of that.
Florida, yeah, Mark.
Was it Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah. And worked with the two of them and his daughter separately. And all his daughter's suicidal tendencies gone. Them back. They were getting a divorce. They were back in a loving life. And he was pissed off because of how much money I charged. Yeah. So
Yeah. And then we got the Sams. Hey, you should come to the Philippines. All right, I'm on my way. And then
Yes.
within a week of here, I'm changing my name to Divine, and I'm moving to the Philippines.
yeah, that's it. That is it. Congratulations, Sam, on that. And
Well, I
even
couldn't have done it without you guys. And I still had some struggle, right, with the surrender piece. So
I would. Well, that was my next topic. That was my next topic. Your surrender piece, and how much you played the game, even though you had that much enthusiasm. How much you played the game, ego game.
Yeah.
and you're pretty near going to be beheaded to finally give up at the end.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this dance with you, Sam. And you damn well knew both of us meant it. Am I correct?
Yeah. No dance party for sure.
No, no dance party. This is your last hurrah, bud. And you came really ready. I'd like you to describe those two differences. The one when you came first.
The commitment versus the surrender.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to the Philippines to do this. That's the one. And then the other one is, okay, Don, I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like
Describe those two, the differences of those two, Sam.
well, it's like I mean really like the committed piece, I'm just like Jamie, I'm committed to everything, but it's almost as if it's coming from a place of like I'm gonna figure it out on my own. But the surrender is like, hey, I'm willing to do anything and whatever to have this and to keep it. Like I surrendered to whatever it is that needs to happen for me to be in my divinity. And I was in so much pain because it's like, okay, I went to jail. I went to a point where I didn't sleep for 10 days. All of this stuff was happening to me, divorce, and then I still was playing the ego game. So it's like, okay,
Yes.
then the foot getting stubbed, and then the tonsillitis, and this and that, and I'm like, okay, when is enough enough? I want to be completely free finally, and it took almost losing you guys for me to be like, hey, like I don't have the answer.
Well, I want to interject for a sec. I'll tell you how close you were to losing us. About the width of a razor blade. That's how close you came. I had already made the decision, actually. I had already made the decision that no, he's not a fit.
Yeah, we were at the dinner table and you said, let's go over there right now and tell him that he's gone. And I'm like, well, let me talk to him. Let me give him one last, Yeah.
Yeah, it was James. it was Jamie's conversation with you, and I'm bringing this all up to give the listener the like how difficult this can be with the ego still in charge.
Yeah.
And
Even
all
with-
of that happened. And Jamie said when he finished the conversation with you is, it'd be worth having another chance, another conversation, whatever it was you said, Jamie. But I said, oh, okay, Jamie, I'll do this. But it wasn't from anything other than he better be effing ready when I get there. Because I'm not putting up with another ounce of bullshit. So that's how close that came, bud.
Yep. Well, I mean, I kind of felt it before even the conversation, so I knew there was something that had to change, and it was like I didn't obviously have the answer because I was like going into my divinity, giving it up constantly over and over and over and over again. So it's like, okay, obviously there's something I'm not getting. I might as well ask the guy that's been at this for 44 years to help me get to it. It's like, okay, Sam, you don't have the freaking answers. You need to surrender. And
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one, Sam. Hey, Eagle, you don't have the answers. I never heard that one before.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just like no matter how much commitment, it's like, okay, you gotta be willing to just say like, hey, like, oh wow, look at that view. That looks amazing. Wow. By the way, Don, I was gonna say you look younger.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, bud.
You're welcome. That's where we camped.
Yeah. 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 You were there. Yeah. So there
But
you
yeah, I
have
mean,
that
like,
part.
yeah,
Go ahead.
but for everyone on the call, just so you know, like even myself, right? Like it really took a lot of like pain to be willing to commit to it, and then not just commit,
Well,
then surrender.
surrender.
Like, hey, I don't have it, and I've seen people like they specifically said that oh, I don't know why this is happening, blah blah blah, and then I still feel like there's that little surrender piece that's still missing. And if you're not willing to surrender, you're not gonna be able to keep it. There's gonna be some excuse, there's gonna be some reason why something else is more important than your divinity.
Well, the
Yeah,
ego
totally.
has of
And that's
excuses.
why. Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
I was just saying the ego has an infinite list tapping into your creativity for excuses and justifications and reasons and all that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it could be as simple as, oh, I don't want to do the process, like the girl that I'm dating, like I don't want to do the process because I heard I can't eat rice.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. 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 It doesn't take much for sure.
And we're not even saying that you can't eat certain foods or whatever. You're gonna intuitively know where you should be, what you should do, and yeah, like a lot of the times, like for example, I didn't tell you this, but yesterday, so like I took her out. We went to like a little date and stuff, and she wanted to eat some wings. And so she asked me to join her. I was like, okay, fine. I'm gonna be going on the whole like breatharian thing, fruitarian thing, blah, blah, blah. So might as well give it one more hoorah.
Of
Bro,
course. Of course.
oh my God.
Yeah.
It messed me up.
So those are chicken arms,
That's-
right?
Chicken.
That-
Okay, yeah. Just
That's
clear on the-
awesome.
Not chicken. And I'm like,
Are
okay,
you-
I already knew
You're not talking.
shouldn't do
You're
it.
not talking about chicken legs, are you? Chicken feet?
Chicken wings.
Oh, chicken wings. Okay, that's a
Yeah.
little different. Chicken feet. They eat chickens here too.
Yeah. Never been there, never done that.
What's the difference with chicken feet and chicken arm?
Same thing. No, that-
Well, one's a wing. Well, anyway, it's just
Well,
Yeah.
the wing's an arm. The wing's just a nice cover.
yeah, yeah.
So, like
But
intuitively,
I
shouldn't
I
do
want
that.
to, but I want to come back to something while I remember. It's absolutely amazing the transformation in Rockma since yesterday. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. Which is awesome. Absolutely awesome. She came running at me and jumped into my arms this morning. Give me a kiss. Good morning. That was pretty amazing.
Congratulations
So,
to her and to you
yes.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know how
So,
that goes. It's dating a new partner, especially after a year of going back and forth on it.
yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, there's but it's certainly, well, Jamie, you and I have been around this long time, like the tricks of the ego and all of those things. And Sam has certainly gotten used to that, recognizing those things. But I mean, a couple of the ones there in Mexico was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. The lady, her daughter was, I think she was 23 or something, and she was dying of some disease. And the mother already had a major transformation. It was a major. And she told me about her daughter, and I said, "Well, if you want, I'll go talk to her. I'm not promising anything, but I'll just go talk to her." And so I went to see her. She was in bed, couldn't move, and I said I'd come back tomorrow to do the work. And the mother said, "No, it's not necessary." She died. Yeah, it's like just the crazy decisions that's made even after they take the process, but don't follow through. So it's important to do all three phases. You can't miss one, and you can't miss the exercise. Well, that divine focus has really gained a lot of momentum as far as effectiveness. That's really the answer for sure. We didn't have it quite that way before, but we're always constantly evolving and perfecting and finding new things and new ways. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's quite the road. It's definitely not a 6-lane highway. That's for sure. Yeah. But coming back to you, Sam, how awesome you look, like in your divinity. It is significantly different. Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Don.
yeah. And
Yeah,
before it
feels
was,
night
I'm
and
sorry, go
day.
ahead. What's that?
Feels like night and day. And I was operating that old system for my whole life, and so it's like this one feels way more natural.
What do you mean
The
way
old-
more natural? This is natural. The other wasn't.
This is natural. This is natural. The other one was a force. It was like I have to force
Yes.
my persona onto the world. It's so interesting.
False identity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And in your case, all of that different personal development programs that you had. And I see lots of times it's an obstacle to their divinity. The very thing that they're doing everything they can to get more off is the very obstacle to stop them from being in their divinity. And they have all the language, the words The words are all there, you know, but they are phony, fake, artificial. They're not who we are. They're who we think
Yeah, I
we
mean, if
are.
you think about it, like usually one of the biggest, most popular phrases in that is like, "Oh, you need to fake it till you make it."
Yeah. And one of the things that, you know, I had seen when I was in Vancouver, you know, these guys putting on programs, and then it's like they don't hold it, and it's like, well, yeah, you have to come back because the next one, you know, it's more expensive, and it's more this, and you have to do this and this, so you'll need to take that program. And then there's the next one after that, and the next one after that, and they still have it. They still have the programs. We're just paying more money each time. So that's the unfortunate piece.
Yeah, I remember doing these transformational, like similar to what's it called? Landmark, where there's like level 1, level 2, leadership,
Yeah.
like all of these different. And then like just to figure out like the person that's teaching the class still has all of their toxic programs. Like you hear about like all of these like scandals and stuff outside of like I'm like, okay, so like why am I here? Why like there's something out of integrity here for sure.
Well, it's building up the positive ego is what it is. The positive
Yeah.
ego.
Yes,
That's
Jamie,
what-
that's a great phrase. That is what that is. The positive, creating a positive ego.
Which is what
Yeah.
makes it so difficult to surrender when you've gone through all that compared to the
Yes.
person
Yeah.
that's been used to submitting to authority their entire life.
Yeah.
You know, that's the negative ego, you know, the submitting slave that's never taken charge for themselves. That's that one's a lot easier to work with, bring through this process because their surrender is so high. Maybe their commitment isn't, but their surrender is higher compared to the positive ego. It's tough
Right.
to surrender.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The positive
Hey,
ego,
listen.
look at how great I am, and I don't need any help, and I can do everything on my own, and all that. That's the positive
Yeah.
ego.
Familiar.
Yeah. And what it really is superior. It's
Yeah.
really it's a superior rather than inferior is what, you know. And I was in the 12-step programs in AA, and that I experienced that, and I you know, all of my spirit, like I was in I forget, like one of the religious programs where, you know, doing these crazy thing, and it was like, hey, look at me, look at what I'm doing, you know. And that's a big, it's loaded with ego, those statements, those look at me. So now on the other side with this is like, is everyone's is looking at me because of my true light. They can see it. I don't have to say, look at me. They see that light. Just like your statement you just said, Sam, like you look younger, you know. There was nothing and which is beautiful, those characteristic traits of the divinity. That's what I'd like to call that. Natural characteristic traits of being in our divine state. Yeah. And I'm telling you, Jamie, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jamie.
You go ahead.
Well, like even animals, like animals. I'm sitting on Jamie's couch in his living room, and this cat comes and curls up on my lap. She's there for maybe 10 or 15 minutes and gets down I didn't even know, I wasn't paying attention. Jamie and I were just chatting. And the next thing she comes with this week old kitten, pure white week old kitten, and comes up and sets it on my lap. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Whether that's a cat or a person or whatever, it's attracted to that light. The light, the divine light. So, which is quite a bit different than, you know, these programs that are the leaders. And yes, I'd have to be honest that I'm the leader in this. You know, we haven't created as much as different people have asked me to train them. I tried it. It really is not. Oh, that's that has never proven to be the best way to go for me.
Well, we don't
Anyway.
need more trainers. We need more people ready to face their phobia of their light.
Yeah, that's an excellent statement, Jamie. That's what we need. Yeah, and we could do a stadium full. That they'd all get it. Yeah, we don't need one instructor for every 10, or we don't need any of that. It's like, no, it's the energy, the purity of the divinity. And yeah.
The
So,
readiness of the individual. They ought to be in so much pain.
oh, that is it. That's it, Jamie. Like, seriously. They have to be in pain to make the decision. And the ego
Be
still,
willing
I'm sorry.
be willing to face the phobia of their light.
Yeah, but they don't even know about the phobia light. But yeah, it's like, yeah. Yeah, like you'd think it'd be the, you know, I robbed a bank, or, you know, I stabbed somebody or something. You'd think that would be what it would be that take them to do that. No, it's literally the phobia to their light is causing all the problems. So, but who's ever even heard of that statement before? You know, that phobia to your light.
A few on the call.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Phobia to your light. What's that?
There's a few thousand more that ran.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing, is how much of a wizard the ego is at putting the spin on things for it to stay alive, and people wanting to keep this or wanting to keep that or whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
it convinces you you're going to die from the light, but in reality, it's killing you 24/7, not being in your light.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like these phobias people have, and it's like, you know, they're convinced they're. Well, I just went I had to go into town today to get the fruit, and the young lady that came with me, she's 20, and she was terrified of me driving fast. And I said, well, better get used to it, because I'm not slowing down. And we're over rough terrain, you know, in the mountains and all of that. And I said, did you ever stop to think of how ridiculous it is that your phobias you have are to try to protect you from dying, and it's the phobia that's happening that's killing you? Did you happen to make that connection yet? You know, like the very thing. What's that?
Did she jump out of the vehicle after that?
No, no, she knew there was no change in what I was doing. So she enjoyed the rest of the ride, just okay. But yeah, yeah. So, but that, like the craziness of a phobia, just that in itself, like, huh. Um, like the seaweed one. I love the seaweed one. Love the seaweed one. Imagine being terrified of dying from a seaweed wiggling back and forth in the water. Like, could you stop just for a 13/10 of a second and give that some thought as to how ridiculous that is? And what's that lady's name, Jamie, out of New York, with the
Page.
100 phobias? What's that?
Page.
Page. 100 phobias. 100 phobias.
She said she didn't know how many she had, but it was probably hundreds.
Yeah, that's the word she used. That's what it was. That's how she worded it. Yeah. And in 2 hours and 20 minutes, took 20 minutes because extra because of her husband's resistance. And they were all gone. Imagine that. Imagine doing one of them at a time. How many years it would take to do one of those at a time, each session. Well, let's do the phobia of bugs. Then let's do the phobia of heights. Like dealing with the symptom takes forever rather than the cause.
Millions of dollars and decades of therapy.
Yeah, seriously.
And it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well,
Totally.
Just create a new time you cleaned up the old ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might wonder
Well,
about it.
Yeah, that guy that came from Toronto when I was on PEI, he was in some therapy. I forget exactly what type of therapy for 10 years for these phobias, and he still had them all. And 40 minutes later, he walked out with it gone. Like, imagine the amount of money that guy spent over 10 years and still had it. Like, how crazy is that? To keep going back. So, yeah, it's there. And that's why that logical, doing anything with this in the logical system is a complete exercise in futility. Because there's nothing logical about any of that. Yeah. That's why that intellect. What's that?
Sorry, Don, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that the intellect, that's why we have to get people to look at it other than the intellectual. Because the intellect, it's like how different is the intellectual and neurological? Like, could we just slow this down and talk about the illogicalness of creating a phobia? Like, boom, something happened. Oh my God, I'm going to die. And then create 115,000 other phobias that you're going to die somehow, some way. And they're all the same, just different whatevers. And the explanation or, whatever that about that. And then being able to, like, are you going to, like with Paige, imagine doing 100+ phobias one at a time. When they all happen from one trauma. So anyway, Pretty crazy.
Very crazy.
You
So,
would think. Go ahead.
Don, I was gonna say this because it's interesting because a lot of the times, like I've had like friends, like I tell them about this, like yeah, I do something like that. It's energy work or something, along those lines. And I have a story because I did my process with you like, one-on-one over a year ago, and then I gave it
Yeah.
up. And then I started working with this other spiritual mentor, and her name is May, and she kind of worked like energy work and stuff. But it was interesting because she was still working on the symptoms and
Right.
kind of having to work from the top down rather than just getting to the direct root of it. Right. So like I'd have to constantly go to her, constantly have to go see her, 1 hour session here, 2 hour session here, 2 hour session here, and it still kept coming up rather than just get to the root, be done with it, hold it, done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a major difference. Major. You know, for sure. Yeah. Anyway, it's hard to believe there's one guy out there that is the best in the personal development system, and the millions the man makes off of it. And people are still going back to it, And I say, okay, so, like Adam as a case in point. What was it, 500,000 he spent, Jamie, over 10 years or whatever it was?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah. 500,000, 10 years, and still had it. Still had his program that was creating all the problems. Still had it. Effing $500,000. And he came and kicking and screaming and throwing temper tantrums at the small amount I was charging. And we started well, it was an hour and a half. And there's a video of him. He damn near broke my back. I'm serious. Like, I am not exaggerating when I say that. He squeezed my ribs so tight, I thought I was going to collapse. It was all gone in an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah. So, like, there's a financial. What's that?
And then he still went back to the other one.
Yeah, still. Yeah, isn't that the crazy one, Jamie? Isn't that the effing crazy one? He kicked and screamed through temper tantrums at the small price I was charging, and went back to the larger price after, even though the one that I did with him worked, and he gave it up. Yeah. So, yeah. Go rely on that intellect. What's that?
Because the old system validates the ego.
Yeah, that's a great statement, Sam. That's a great statement, man.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't threaten.
What's that?
And it doesn't threaten the ego. It builds it.
That's the other piece, Jamie. Oh my God, that's it. That's it, bud. That's why. Because the ego is still making the decisions. So there's no threat. We should start saying, yeah, you can keep your ego.
Yeah, come build your ego.
Yeah. Yeah. And those that do those other programs, you can see how much of an ego they built. Yeah. So interesting. So those two statements, It's what did you say, Sam?
It validates it, the ego.
Validates the ego, and you said, Jamie, what was it? How you worded it?
It doesn't threaten it, it builds it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, validates and doesn't threaten. Wow, that explains everything right there. Because they are in their ego when they come. Yeah. Huh.
Not to mention the phobia of the light.
Well, I mean, that is the driver for it all, for
Yeah.
sure. Of course. There's no getting around that. Yeah. Yeah. So, well,
Gilbert said the ego is very undisciplined towards healthy habits, but very disciplined towards toxic habits.
yeah. 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 So true, Gilbert. Yeah.
It's funny. It's like whenever I was still smoking the weed and doing all that stuff, and smoking weed while doing personal development, like all my friends that did that, they were okay with it. But as soon as I stopped, and I'm talking about divinity, I have the biggest ego, and they hate me, and all of this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I remember when I quit drinking, actually, and I'd quit drinking on New Year's Eve on December uh, uh, 31st of December, and then there was a Super Bowl party, a Super Bowl. So I was having a party, a Super Bowl party, and I worked hand in hand with these two boys. They were brothers, Brian and Calvin, I think it was. They were brothers, and we were drinking buddies, like seriously, like drinking buddies. And I decided to have a Super Bowl party at my place, and I called Brian. And I said, "So Brian, I'm having a Super Bowl party at my place on, Sunday or whatever it was." So, oh yeah, you going to have any booze there, Don? I said, no, but if you really need to have a drink, you can bring your own. Tell you what, Don, here's how we're going to do this. Don't ever effing call me again. Goodbye. That was it.
wow.
Unless you start drinking.
Yeah, oh yes, that's what it was. Unless you start drinking again, don't ever bother calling. Yeah.
Well, at least
So,
that's clear.
Yeah.
that is crystal clear. Yeah. So true. Yeah. So, yeah, that was the last time I heard from had any connection with him. Yeah. So, yeah, that's quite the game being played. Yeah. What was that?
I had quite a few drinking buddies. They're still drinking,
Yeah,
and we're not.
Say that again, Jamie.
I said I had quite a few drinking buddies, and they are still drinking, and we are not buddies.
Yeah.
Gilbert says this process highlights people's true intentions.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, that's rather unfortunate. That's why, in my case, I'm the width of the pavement across from my neighbor on the other side of the street, figuring out how to get in his garage to get the shotgun to blow my fucking head off. And that's okay to the ego.
Yeah,
It's like there's no. What's that?
I said, yeah, that's normal. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah, Yeah. Hey, you're only going to hell. What's the, you know? That's the only thing that stopped me was the phobia of going to hell for the forever if I committed suicide. That's the only thing that stopped me, actually.
Being
Yeah.
an altar boy paid off.
What's that?
Being an altar boy paid off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 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 That's going to hell. That was the one. Yes. So isn't it amazing how the ego works? It's amazing how twisted people get. And well, even you, Jamie, you know, look at the different times that those times you went back to the narcissist energy, you know? And yeah. So and on the other side, how absolutely amazing when you were in your light they were. Like those were unbelievably awesome. Energies that you were carrying when you were in your light. Would you agree?
Well, I am extreme. It's all in or all out.
Oh, well, yes. 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 That go on now. We're talking breatharian and yeah, liquidarian and you know, and yes, everybody I was going to start the conversation today was, listen, I've been with Jamie for 4 years. I know how extreme he is. Whatever he's going to do, it's going to be max. Going to be max. That's what it's going to be, you know.
Well, I
And
can't look at the top of the chart and say, oh, I'm just going to go 80%.
no, well, a lot of people look at the chart and say, I'm going to get started. No, you get, okay, what's the top number there? Okay, that's where I'm going. Yeah.
I trust I have a few others coming with me, but I'm going regardless.
Yes, right, yes. Well, just for those listening, Jamie and I are sitting outside the grocery store eating a vegan ice cream on a Sunday night at 9:00. Looked at me and says, "Hey, how would you like to go on a world tour?" Yeah, okay. Okay, well, the first thing is we can only take a backpack. That's it. Oh, okay. I'll let you know when we're going. And so that was on Sunday. And on Wednesday, called at 3:30, said, yeah, we're leaving at 6:30. Meet me here. And I couldn't find someone to buy my Tour de France bike. I had 22 pair of dance shoes, suits, left everything behind. Everything but that I could get in a handbag, a backpack. And met him at the restaurant. We had a bite to eat. We headed to the airport. I think it was the airport. Was the airport? We went. It was a flight, right? I'm pretty sure that first one. And never even asked where we were going. And we went to was it 158 cities in 14 countries in 9 months. That's what we did. Yeah. So
in all fairness, I said I'm going on a world tour, and you said, well, you don't want to do that alone, do you?
Oh, is that how?
Tell them about
okay, thanks for clearing that up.
Tell them about
What?
the fruitarian. Tell them about the fruitarian. We were sitting having the ice cream.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go fruitarian. Do you want to come join me? Fruitarian, fruitarian, fruitarian. Oh, okay. And I got a picture of the fridge being full, absolutely full of all these different fruits. So it was just immediate stop doing fruitarian for a month. Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
were outside the grocery store, and I told you about fruitarian, how I did it for 2 years, and we had just worked on the phobia of the light. I had just done the process with you, and at that time we were nailing the phobia of the light. And when we
yeah,
sat down having the ice cream, I told you, man, a few years ago, I only ate fruit for 2 years straight, and I felt freaking amazing. And I remember the very tail end of that process, I did a 30-day fast, and the message was, I'm so high, I'm going to die. And I didn't know at the time what that was, but it was me hitting that phobia of the light, and I didn't know how to deal with it. But since going right through the process of dealing with the phobia of the light, that popped back up. I tell you about it, and you're like, well, I'm in. And so we walked right into the grocery store from that table and bought only fruit. And for the next 30 days, we were only on fruit.
yeah, yeah. We both can make pretty fast decisions. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And the world
Thanks for
tour was
clearing
nice.
up that. What's that?
The world tour got us back on the food because we had all those vegan restaurants that were so tempting in all the different cities. You know, remember those? We just
Oh God, yes. Yeah.
the best of the best.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Next thing you know, we were eating vegan chocolate cakes, thinking we were healthy, but even the vegan ice cream is just like an oxymoron. It's like, what was actually in that soft serve, you know? Anyway, I mean,
Long as it,
that's just
yeah. Long as it had the word vegan on it, it was,
yeah, exactly. I'll tell you, I'm 5 days in on just liquids,
yeah.
and like before when I did longer fasts,
Yeah.
the first and any fasting expert will tell you like the first 3-4 days you're freaking bedridden, you're in pain, and I was back then, but I
Yeah.
didn't have the tools knowing that that was just the ego coming in.
Right.
So this time around I've had zero any type. I mean, we've been in the gym going hard, and I'm talking all I had like all day was a coconut water.
It was full of half of it.
Yeah, yeah, and I could barely drink half of it because I was like, oh, this is enough. It's
Wow.
like just totally the complete opposite of experience. And then of
Wow.
course you got the people saying, oh, you're gonna die if you don't eat, you know, and you'd listen to those back when you'd listen to the ego, but now it's like has zero effect on me. I'm like, okay, I got all these examples around me. Like I'm in this new group chat, 77 people. Some of them have been a whole year with just water. The leader of it has been almost 10 years, like no food, no water, like just crazy, just amazing experiences. But
Wow.
Will sent me this documentary hit piece on breatharians last night because he was I don't know what he was doing, but I assume he was searching for a reason not to do it, and he found it.
That's
There was
quite
this hit
possible.
piece. Yeah, it was this hit piece on this lady that has been breatharian for 13 years,
Yeah.
and 60
Wow.
minutes. Yeah, 60 Minutes came after her, attacking her, being like, there's no way this is possible, blah, blah, we want to test you and all this. So she's
Oh,
like,
you
okay,
mean
well,
the documentary 60 Minutes? Is that what you mean?
60 Minutes, 60 Minutes, the clip was in the documentary. It was part of the
Yeah, yeah.
documentary.
Yeah,
But
got it. Yep.
the whole documentary was a hit piece on how people have tried to go breatharian and they died and like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, 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 of
So
course.
it was all, you're gonna die if you do this. And
Yeah.
So the 60 Minutes though, they got real creative. They said, hey, we want to do a week long like camera you for a week long and test you with a doctor to prove that this is, you know, possible type thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't say they want to prove it was false, but that's what they were doing. That was their intention. So
Right.
she's like, yeah, no problem. It sounds like a vacation for me. So she's sitting in this like medical thing for 7 days, and they're testing her nonstop, and she's doing fine. And then halfway through they go, oh, your blood pressure is too high. We got to stop this. This is too dangerous. This is too dangerous, you know. So then they cut her off halfway through the experiment and use that as, you know, oh, it's a big, you know, bullshit falsehood.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, terrible.
Yeah,
But
it is.
yeah. One of the things so this is interesting. One of the things, and I've experienced this before, but already just 5 days in, like I literally don't have to use any deodorant. I don't have any smell. Like there's just
Oh,
no, whereas just a week before when I was eating the, you know, clean vegan, I still had to use deodorant because it would smell, you know? So
yeah,
there's
right.
absolutely no smell, which is amazing. And then the other thing was cat allergies I've had my entire life, even up until a few days ago when Nina got the new kitties. They were in the bed and I was just getting this sneeze attack and I did my divine focus and it was like still going on. And last night, I had them both playing on me and I was like all night and I had not one hiccup, not one sneeze, not one little. So I'm feeling real
Right.
clean.
Wow. That is amazing, actually,
Hmm.
for sure.
Gilbert wants to share something. Go ahead, Gilbert.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hey, Gilbert.
So, hi. Yeah, I was asking questions about the process before I went to sleep. I started learning a little bit more about Edgar Casey. I didn't even know about him, but apparently he's very powerful about sleep interpretation and tapping into the subconscious and superconscious. But
Yeah.
so last night when I went to bed, I was trying to figure out like why you want it to be done early in the morning. And I kid you not, like when I went to the rest, that dream I had last night was intense, but I was instructed that it cannot be shared because it was way too intense. But in when I went to the restroom and I went back to bed, I got the answer that I was looking for. And I kid you not, I was seeing it. I was seeing like it looked like a Mandela, but I was like, what is this that I'm looking at right now? When I was groggy and trying to go back to bed. And then Source told me, he goes, that's called the trance of the ego. And so I'm like, oh shit. So that's why as soon as we wake up in the morning, we need to do the divine focus. And because it literally shoots us into the superconscious. Because if not, then we just automatically drift into the trance of the ego. It just blew my mind, bro. I just thought
Wow.
I'd share that with you guys. It was
Wow.
intense.
Glad you did, bud. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing everything you've done. It's really helpful, and the dreams are becoming a lot more vivid. And I'm starting to work with them at night, and the super conscious and subconscious has every answer that we could ever ask for. So
A
I'm still
thousand
working
percent.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still working with it. But yeah, just wanted to share that little
Cool.
section. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Way to go, bud.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gilbert.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Lost you guys there for a moment.
Oh, that's what happened. I thought we were all just meeting in the astral realm.
Uh-huh.
Just a moment of silence.
Exactly.
Oh,
Anyone else want to share? I'm excited about this week-long intensive with Dr. Stephen Greer.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
Will, can you get?
yeah, especially, you know, I think it's 12 years ago now that I spent that time with him. Pretty crazy, full on things happen, I'll tell you. So I can only imagine what's going to happen this time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
China says, will it be recorded?
What's that?
I'm sure they would, but you'd need to sign up for the stream or something.
Yeah.
I don't. It's all on Dr. Stephen Greer's, and I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
All I know is we're going to be there live twice a day, middle of the night, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll definitely transmit the downloads that we get. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll be sharing. We'll be doing. Oh, that's a good transition to tell them the new time.
Yeah, we tomorrow is gonna be a different time, so it's gonna be at 12 Philippines time. So 11, so that's noon our time, 11 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so we'll be sharing right after we go through his session. Shannon, I don't have an exact link, but if you just look up Dr. Stephen Greer, you should see his event come up. And sorry, Gilbert, not gonna bootleg it. That'd be out of integrity for me. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I mean, if there's any street in the world that they're gonna come to an after party on, it's gonna be ours.
We might go live from the UFO though. We could probably do that.
I'll just be back in a sec, guys.
Okay.
Just partying with our ET buddies. Yeah.
I don't know if we'll have internet reception. when
Yeah,
we're gone.
I doubt the smart is gonna get there.
I ain't bringing my
Smart
phone.
network.
So I'm going light as a feather.
Just kidding.
Remember yesterday we left the house without my like wallet, bag, and phone and everything, and I remember we were picking up your guys' shoes or something. And I was like, oh, I forgot my bag. I'm like, oh, what do I even need it for? Like,
There's nothing to buy.
yeah, it's nothing to buy. I'm not eating. I'm not doing it. Like, what do I need it for?
But it's funny because it's like it kind of made sense as well. Like as Jamie was talking about your experience yesterday after doing the breath.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it just made sense. It's like, well, if you say that you're God, I mean, God doesn't really need to eat, drink, or poop. So
Yeah, that for me, I'm just getting the message that from that layer, that one chart to the next chart, that 1,000 to the 50,000 plus infinity. For me, that's in alignment with that process. It's like letting go of everything external, including food and drink, and then to find out there's these people that have done it over a decade, and not only survived but thriving. Like these guys are like, talk about reverse aging. I mean, we showed the picture of Chris yesterday. It's like, wow. So yeah, superpower gifts to tap into after that for sure. I mean, that's the full out of body experience when you don't need to put anything in it.
Yeah.
For
Awesome.
me.
yeah, just
Only for me. I realize
Jamie,
nobody on the call is doing it. Fine. We could still be friends.
Yeah, I mean, he dropped me off, and I was like, "Hey, I went and got a couple hits of some apple,"
Yeah.
and it took a little bit longer. I was like, "Hey, I had to use the bathroom. I'm not full God mode yet." So it's just what Jamie's doing, okay, guys? There's nothing
Yes.
that you got to do.
No. Don't even recommend it. I don't suggest it. I don't recommend it.
That's just his journey.
I'll just keep you posted on what's happening for me. You're probably gonna die if you do it, so just don't do it.
That's good. That's a very good cover your ass statement.
Yeah, that's my disclaimer. You'll die if you do it, so just don't do it.
Just follow your own intuition. That's all we're telling you to do.
Oh, we got to put that on the divinity disclaimer. Your ego is gonna die if you do this, so don't do it.
We do need a disclaimer for sure.
Yeah, we do.
All right, so yeah, just to clarify once again, tomorrow is going to be at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
Does anyone have anything they want to share? Any insights, shares, updates?
I may as well share that in the car moment if no one else
You
is.
should, for
Yeah,
sure.
so we pull up at the condo buildings where Will and Sam are. They had to get their gym shoes. So I'm sitting outside in the vehicle and start doing my divine focus. And all of a sudden it just hits me. It's like, well, dude, if you're breatharian, you may as well start getting like a lot of breath in you, you know, to go through this process. So I just started doing this like intense deep breathing. I was just like I just naturally, intuitively started doing this. There's no plan. And after about a minute straight of it, my whole, especially my hands and my legs, like my whole body was like electric charge shocking, but my hands and my legs were like going like this. Like I could not, it was just wow, like this electricity. And then it hit me from the call I was on yesterday with the breatharian guy. He mentioned that the trillions of cells that we have, whatever it is, 3 trillion cells. He said they're supposed to be all alive, you know, but when we put stuff in it that they have to deal with, that's when the cells die, which is unnatural. But anyway, each cell is around 0.5 volt to 1 volt of electric energy. So we're talking trillions of electrical potential, volts, trillions of volts. And so that's how I understood why I felt like electricity. I told Will when he came back in the car, I said, man, I feel like I've had a dead battery my entire life and I just found the supercharger. You know? And yeah, and then I had to look in the mirror because I felt my face just go like just. So I looked in the mirror and I looked in my eyes and the message just came out of my mouth and it said, "You are God, wake up."
Wow. Wow.
And as soon as I said wake up, the bright light around the vehicle, like coming from the sun, I guess, just intensely got bright all around the vehicle. And then Will comes to the vehicle, tries to open it, and it's locked. And I never locked it. And then I hit the unlock button, and he tries again, and it's still locked. Like he saw me hit the unlock button. Like, well, okay. And then he goes around the other side and he comes in. But after he got in the vehicle, he told me he could feel the intense energy around the vehicle when he came up to it. So I assume that when he felt that, maybe, well, you can tell me, did you get like a little scared? Or what was it that maybe kept the door locked? I don't know. What was it?
The door was locked, and then when I entered, I saw your eyes, and I could feel.
So he said he saw it in my eyes when he entered. But anyway,
Before you say that you have an experience, I could already.
Yeah, he said before I even told him, because I told him after he got in the vehicle, he said he already felt like I had some out of world experience.
Wow.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that was awesome. And then it really was like, oh, this full out of body experience, why would I need to put anything in it to ground it? That would just be the ego scaring me that I'm gonna die by going into this intense, supreme infinity energy.
I can imagine what's going to happen with you and Dr. Greer.
Yeah, I guess I'm
Can I add to
primed. Perfect timing for the boys to show up.
that? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm excited.
yeah. I'm excited too because of all of the experiences I had in that week in Borrego Springs, California. Pretty amazing, actually, to say the least. Yeah. And I didn't believe a damn thing anybody was saying. It was like, yeah, yeah, this is a bunch of bullshit. I don't see anything, you know. Didn't take long for them to come knocking on my door, waking me up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
we have experience for sure. So
yeah,
I find like when I
yeah,
receive information or words, like the words don't teach, it's the experience, and then you like I get the message of the words that I got before as I'm having the experience. So then that's when it's like becomes a knowing.
right.
Wasn't that the topic today, the knowing?
But yeah, intuitive knowing.
Intuitive knowing, yeah. Well, that was one of the things the Chris guy, the breatharian, because he offered to come out to Philippines to if I was serious and ready to do that final stage of going off the liquids to the breatharian. And but first he's challenging me, right? Like he's making sure that I'm ready. And when he asked me to explain why I felt I was ready, the biggest message that came was just like I know I know I can do this, you know. And he said, "Wow, like the strength of your spirit and trust is super rare." And it's because I don't have that phobia of the light. I am equipped with the tools to deal with the ego because that's what these other people in the group are going through their fasting journey is they're hitting that phobia of their light and going back to binge eating. Or the ego is telling them
Oh,
whatever,
wow.
right? The ego will give them the message of the craving, or the ego will tell them they're gonna die, or you know, all of that stuff that stops them in the journey. I'm equipped with all that from all the work we've done together the last 4 years. So I'm like, I just know I can do it. Like what? Not a big stretch from changing the weather to not having to eat.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Well, no shortage of excitement, that's for sure.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Look like a pirate. Anyone else want to share before we end the call?
I could share after all. I feel like I don't mind. It was intense as dream, but I'm down. Oh my god! I think the cat wants to share.
Yeah, he's exploring all over the place right now.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
I could share mine. I'll try to do the best I can to share the dream that I had last night, and maybe you guys can help me out with the interpretations of it. It was interesting. So I was stationed at a base in the Azores, which is like in the middle of the ocean, off the coast of Portugal. And for some reason, I've been going back there multiple times in my dream state, trying to, I guess, the divine's trying to show me messages. This message was kind of interesting. So I do remember getting to the island and looking for the headquarters building. And once I got to the headquarters building, I remember going into a room that was like super top secret clearance kind of stuff. And I remember going, I was guided to go and sit on a specific chair. And I remember like a special ops guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hi, my name is Steven." And I'm like, I didn't say anything to him. I didn't respond to him. I just stood there, sat there. And all of a sudden there was three Chinese guys that come into the room. And I'm just like, okay, that's interesting. And then he comes up to me again and says, "Hi, my name is Steven." I did the interpretation of it. Steven means crown. But and then that's when I answered to him because my birth certificate actually says not named on it. So I don't know why, but my instinct was to tell him, "Hi, my name is not named." That's what I told him, and he goes, "You were the guy we were meant to see today. Cool." And then the three Asian guys start busting out their tablets and their laptops on the computer, and then the Steven guy hands me the smallest, littlest like thumb drive. Apparently, it had some information on there that he said he was working together with the Chinese to try to decipher it. And so I'm like, okay. So the Chinese guys, they looked at it and they got real excited and they're like, oh, like they knew exactly what they were gonna do with it. And so he goes, I was only able to extract a screenshot of it. And he's like, I know there's something on here that has some very valuable information. And I was like, okay, all right. So they connected it. And all of a sudden I started seeing codes just going down on the screen like crazy. And I'm just like, okay, this is interesting. And all of a sudden it went from codes to I started seeing the Forex market. Like, and I started seeing like all the different like cryptocurrencies in different colors. And it looked like I don't know, like a heartbeat or like, you know what I mean? Like they look like this, but a lot of them like zzz, zzz. So I was seeing like it was showing me the markets past and like hundred of years into the future of how they're going to be working in the system. And so as soon as I started seeing that, I saw the Chinese guys looking at each other, getting really excited, and they're like, "This is the information we're looking for." And all of a sudden, I was seeing past the code, and then all of a sudden, I saw like an entire landscape of it looked like the Grand Canyon area. But the weird part, it was like there was a huge fat dude that was running off the edge of the cliff, and then like jumps, and then lands into this little puddle of water, maybe 200 yards away. I'm like, how the heck is that even possible, right? And then after that, I got like all of a sudden I immersed myself into the computer. I went in and I remember jumping off the cliff. And this time I was actually flying out of there. And then it showed me another glimpse, but this glimpse was different. It was, I'm not sure if you guys seen the day that stood still. So it showed like I was in some kind of skyscraper kind of building, and all of a sudden I started seeing those little bots, the ones that were like destroying all the matter everywhere. And I just saw them coming to the window and shattering it. And then I came back and I just started seeing all the code again, like almost like the Matrix going down. And then I had asked more information about him. Like in my head, I was like, did they see what I saw? But they weren't able to see it because of my vision was different than their vision. They were only able to see how the markets were gonna go up and down on the cryptocurrencies. That's all they cared about. But I was able to see past and through all that, and it was like the divine was showing me that. And then it referred to them as the Holy Trinity. So that was like the other symbolism of the three Chinese dudes were referring to spirit was allowing me to see further than anybody else was able to see, and I guess in that kind of state. And I remember coming back, and then that Steven guy looks at me, he goes, "Hey, um, were you guys able to extract anything out of it?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually, we did." So I had asked the one of them that was only able to speak English fairly. I was like, "All right, now that you have what you need to give us the software that we need." And so Steven handed me like a laptop, and he was pretty much uploading all the software So I found out it was like an angelic divinity algorithm code that they figured out to be able to dissect and decipher angelic codes or something like that. And so that's what he was downloading onto the laptop. And then he asked me, he goes, "We need to step into this other room." And so in the other room there was a general and a chief, and then it was also that Steven guy that was working with the special ops team. And then as soon as I sat down, he goes, "All right, I'm gonna need you to tell them exactly what you saw." And then as soon as I was about to start speaking, I woke up. I was like, "Holy Nike, what in the heck?" So if you guys have any interpretations or anything like that about any of that, it's been intense because it's not the first time I've been in like top secret like areas in the military in my sleep. It's kind of trippy. But if you guys have anything, I would really appreciate your guys' insight or input or anything like that too. You guys, yeah, just wanted to share that. It's intense. All these visions are getting really more intense now that I'm so sober for so long. So
And absolutely amazing.
yeah. It's not the first time I've been in like top secret clearance areas. I'm not sure if that's like the divine showing me something that has happened in the future or that's currently happening, or if it's just, I don't know, it's just intense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue what that would mean, but oh,
Tiffany
Kitty.
says, I feel like interpretations could be the ego trying to make things make sense. What do you think?
See, I feel like interpretation. I don't know. I don't know. That's why I share these things, because it's like a cry out for us will help too. Because I'm still trying to get as much guidance as I can, utilize my own intuition. But some of these are kind of interesting, and it's not just, you know what I mean? I've never seen a movie like that before in my life. So and I haven't even seen movie. I don't even have a TV, guys. So I don't even watch movies. So it's kind of interesting that he's showing me all kinds of military things. I remember being on another one where I was in a room with all kinds of like new advanced technology and algorithms and stuff like that. But like, what does it want me to extract from that, you know? So I'm still trying to figure it out, guys. But eventually, hopefully, it'll benefit someone. But I don't know who to go for this kind of information. That's why I'm learning off of Edgar Casey. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing the questions like that before I go to bed at night to see if I get more answers as well.
Tiffany says maybe surrender, that there is a message and let it just come to you. I think that's a great answer.
Yeah, I resonate with what Tiffany is expressing, which is getting out of the intellectual mind, trying to understand it. And the message is for you, and if it hasn't come yet, you know, allow it to. But it's like you don't need to figure it out.
Yeah, I just see it as, oh my God, they're trusting you with all of this information, Gilbert, and just go with it. But
Okay, all right. Well, oh, what do I do with it though? That's the thing. You
hey,
know?
hey, you know what? I'll tell you what you do with it. You trust that the next step is going to be given to you.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Gilbert.
You bet.
Yeah, knowing and a trust instead of a thinking and trying to figure it out.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because my interpretation of it is way different than when I actually do go and learn it. And I think it has to do with the distortion of different people's perspective and experiences in life distorts their, I guess, their viewpoint on things, and can distort mine if I'm not listening to my
Exactly.
own intuition.
Exactly.
So, okay. All right. Well, I wasn't off, but you guys are re-solidifying the guidance I've been getting. So I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Likewise.
Tiffany said, you having to figure it out is stressful. What's meant for you will be clear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the overall message, not going outside yourself to find the answer, whether it's you're Google searching what the dream was supposed to mean, or you're asking us, or it's more intuitive knowing of, isn't that the topic today?
Yeah. Yeah.
An intuitive knowing for what the message is
That's
for you.
You see? Yeah, okay. LK wrote, Gilbert, you realize the country is being overrun. No, I haven't been looking at the news at
I was
all.
gonna skip over that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not trying to get the Chinese party knocking on our door. We're not that far.
But yeah. No, I haven't checked any of that. I don't have any kind of like remote kind of interest.
Well, if
But
any of you have military, we'd love to work with them.
yeah, that's trippy though. It'd be cool to get those algorithms too. See what that's about. That'd be interesting to figure all that out. But yeah, I'll stick with
What
it.
I get from that, bro, is that you already have the knowing. It's literally what it is. It's like you have figured out, you cracked the code. The code is that everything comes from within you, so
Including one.
including water. That's true. Found
You
it
know what?
beautiful.
And I also found out the reason why I had a dream with you guys last night too. My intuition told me that it was because you allowed it in, because you opened up for it. And so my spirit started working with your guys' spirit and try to see how we can find something from the subconscious to help you guys out as well too.
Awesome.
Yeah. Interesting
Beautiful.
topic today. Thank you guys
To
for
say the
sharing.
least.
Yep.
Well, thanks for sharing, Gilbert. Is there anyone else that wants to share before we wrap it up? Questions, comments?
Well, I'm glad
Well-
I was able to make things work from Isolan. That's Divinity Mountain, actually.
Yeah.
Did you get Wi-Fi?
Good.
Yeah,
It's definitely
I
not
bought I bought my own system, put it in here. Yeah,
awesome. The Divinity Fi.
yeah. That is the name of it. It's the Divinity.
Awesome. So yesterday, I took Joanna to go do archery,
That's fun.
and never played, never done it before. We went, it was like a 30-minute thing, and we, like they have the little thing, the target, and we had to hit all of the different colors. And she's like, I was just messing around, and she's like, before we leave, you have to hit the middle. So I'm like, all right, let's turn the divinity on. Last arrow. I'm like, I'm gonna hit this. I'm gonna hit right into the middle.
That's awesome.
So it's like literally like just, I mean, that's how powerful we are. It's just a small little example of like just knowing and things come in.
Are you telling me we can do anything? Is that what you're
Yeah.
telling me?
I mean, changing weather, I mean, hitting the arrow is like kind of mediocre, but like, just to bring it down to the earth level, okay?
Yo, Sam, that's so trippy. That's so trippy that you mentioned that about the arrow, dude. I literally was learning about that Casey guy I was telling you about, and he said the best way to shoot an arrow is by being the target and just
Wow.
and just bringing the arrow back to where it's supposed to be. And
Wow.
instead of shooting the arrow to the target, be the target, and then bring it so that it bring something like that. It was kind of trippy, but it's weird that you did it today, and I learned that today about the arrow. So it's just I had it that just threw it out there.
I'm gonna try that next time. I'm gonna be the target.
Let me know if it works though.
But you're
I
not
will
going
let
to
you
try, Sam. You're not going to try because try has failure built.
I will.
you-
I
I will.
I had so Tiffany says I had an experience like Donna did the other night. I have hardly taken medicine in 10 to 12 years. And the past night, took some cough syrup and went into an allergic reaction. Everything said I should go to the ER, and I decided to do divine focus instead. Wow.
That's awesome, Tiffany. Way to go. Yeah, the ego, it can get very creative, even creating all those physical symptoms. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, we know sickness is a choice. So the next level I just realized is that death is a choice.
Very good, Jamie.
So, I mean, yeah, we're talking however long we want. Immortal.
We're here to overcome it. Death and dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because you weren't on that call where Dawn actually shared that with everybody.
Mm. Well, I got the hit.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
we should have some for you soon, because it's for the KYB and the partner program. So, just waiting on that it's like literally it should be tomorrow. But no promises. I have no clue what the heck the universe wants for us. So, yeah, and then we'll send out an email today just to remind everyone, and then obviously tomorrow, the one tomorrow for the later time. So we appreciate you all for being on here and not allowing the ego to scare you away. And yeah, we'll see you. Let's end it with that video. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 p.m.
You coming
Eastern.
tonight, Don, or early morning? It's a long
Yeah,
drive.
tonight.
Yeah. See you tonight, bud.
Yeah.
Hi there, my name's Jamie Devine. Welcome to I Am Divinity. I'm super excited for you to embark on this journey. Just congratulations for even finding I Am Divinity. My journey has been over 16 years of personal development, spiritual programs, multiple religions. I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 13. I never had a regular job. And so going through all of that, showing up to Don Smith 4 years ago to take his instant and permanent transformation, first of all, sounded a little hard to believe because I had done so much work and I still had all my shit. I was still an alcoholic, a weed addict, a narcissist. My financial gains in business and investing would shoot up and then cut right down and start over, shoot up, cut right down, and I could never hold my success. Going through his program, it was about 2 hours. All of my toxic patterns and programs were completely gone. Literally just gone in a second. And I can't even describe how liberating that moment was for me. But right after that, I told Dawn, I said, I don't want to do any of the business that I'm currently doing. I woke up to my purpose for coming to the planet. When Dawn told me his vision of raising humanity's consciousness to the level of 700 on the scale, enlightenment, which was the cause of all causes. The level of consciousness is the cause of all of our individual and collective problems on the planet. And so to finally have that solution, experiencing that solution for myself, I just wanted to tell everyone and anyone that would listen. And of course, with all my entrepreneur background and my skills in marketing, I made an agreement with Dawn so that I could just, literally my job would be to hold my light and share my light with others and bring them to the process and actually get compensated for it. And so I'm super excited to announce that we've now created this entire system for you too. Now imagine that, being able to go through this instant and permanent transformation for yourself, be liberated of all your toxic patterns and programs, literally within a couple hours. And then on top of that, being able to have all your financial fuel and energy and livelihood come from this divine system. And so there's a few pieces to it. Number one, we have an affiliate partnership program. So you're a partner. Your job is to hold your light, share your light, and anyone that's attracted to it, bring them to the program and we pay out 30% of all the financial part of the system to you. That's the first part. The second part is my experience in the financial realm took me into Forex and crypto over the last 10 years. And I've been through all the roller coaster rides, all the ups and downs, all the scams and schemes. And we landed on just a couple people that were actually full of integrity, that have actually gone through the divinity process, and that are like nothing else. So our Forex fund is ran by an institutional trader. And if you've ever done anything in the financial realm in Forex, 99% of the retail space, the average everyday person, it's a scam. It's a scheme. You're going to lose your money. Maybe you're one of the few that got in early and took the money from the others, but eventually it collapses. I've seen them come and go over the years. But this institutional trader, he has 7 years of experience, and we have his entire track record of his strategy. He has an algorithm. He spent over $20 million in development up to this point. And so even with all that being said, there's still no guarantees. Of course, when it comes to investing, please only risk what you can afford. But we found something that's more solid than I've ever experienced, and it's where our personal funds are. And so you'll have access to that as well. His team has produced over the last 7 years on average 50 to 60% per year on the funds. And you don't have to do anything. You open up the brokerage account, our team will help you do that, and you park your funds there like you would a bank account, and his algorithm trades on all of the accounts. And so we can expect a 50 to 60% if it's anything like the previous average. But again, all the past performance never guarantees anything in the future. Just please be mindful of that. And then the last piece is our crypto fund. Now the crypto fund is very time sensitive. So a good friend of mine, Josh, who's handling the crypto fund, he's become an expert at this stuff. That's all he does every day. He goes and researches the top legitimate projects in crypto. To give you an example, in 2021, which was the last crypto bull run, Josh on his personal portfolio did over 8,000% that year, 8,600 to be exact. And so this was a kid that was 21 at the time and had his life savings in crypto and became a millionaire over that year of investing. And so just this last year, Josh told me, hey, I'm going to do what I did last bull run, but I'm going to open it to a few friends and family. I said, Josh, no problem. I trust you. I sent him the funds for myself, and then I said, Josh, I want to open this up to our entire community. He said, well, I don't know if legally that's a little tough. I said, don't worry, I'll work on that. And we created Divine Markets, which is a legal entity to be able to facilitate this, both the Forex fund and the crypto fund. And so we overcame that, and Josh is exclusively handling all the crypto for our community. And his target for the next year is 1,000%, about a 10x on the funds. And again, there's absolutely no guarantees. Please only risk what you can afford to risk. And so that's it. That's the overview. It's pretty simple. You got the affiliate partnership program, which again is just going to share the financial part with you so that you can actually create a network and an income for yourself while holding your light and sharing your light. Which, by the way, going through this process, we wouldn't be able to pay you to not tell people about it, because you're just going to be radiating and people are going to be attracted to you. And so we just wanted to create a system where we're all partners in this to reach that goal of 114 superheroes of light that are holding this and shifting humanity's consciousness. And so I welcome you to be a part of that vision and mission and part of our team. And I'm excited for you to go through your process. By the way, all of this financial part is only exclusively available to those of you that have gone through the process and committed to that. So it's not going to be available to anyone else. So what a bonus, what a reward for accessing your light and holding it, that you get access to an institutional trading fund that you wouldn't be able to get access to unless you had $250,000 and an accredited investor and all those things that the institutions look for. So we created a bridge for you on that. And the crypto fund, unless you know someone like Josh, and even if you did, it's not cheap or easy to get involved with those things. but we've made it easy for those of you that go through this process. It's a $500 minimum on the Forex fund, $500 minimum on the crypto fund. So that's it. I'm excited for you, and we'll see you on the other side.